What if I told you that there are 5 main indicators of a woman who is disconnected from her feminine radiance? And what if I told you that by identifying these 5 traits or characteristics, you could then start to shift into the other aspect, which is cultivating radiance, connection with your body, connection with your feelings, and being able to share and express yourself in a radiant, confident, feminine way. Hi, my name is Allison. If you don't know who I am a femininity mentor, and I started this channel so that I could provide you with all of the practical tips and skills and guidance that I've been giving my clients for years. So let's jump into today's topic, and you will not need a pen and paper to take notes, because if you wait till the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how you can receive all of the notes from today's video free. You don't have to give me your email address or anything like that. So all you need to do right now is sit back and listen, and we're going to jump right in. So the first sign that a woman is disconnected from her feminine radiance is her overemphasis on logic and reason. So this is someone who's going to be prioritizing the rational mind, problem solving, getting from A to B, figuring things out, really looking into the future, to the outcome, and trying to figure out how to get there. Now, this is, of course, important. We all need to have intellect, and one thing I'm never going to ever say is that to be feminine, a woman should not be intelligent, okay? So let's just answer that question right now, because I have had people comment on some of my reels and posts on Instagram, which you can find at A Feminine Heart on Instagram, saying that I'm saying that only men should be intelligent and women should not. Absolutely not. Our intelligence is critical. It's crucial. But when a woman is hyper-focused on the intellect, thinking, planning, solving, just like the outcome, so it's so critical. I've got to get this outcome. When it's too far over into that side, that's when she loses connection with her radiance, because she's too much in her head. So for this first sign that you're disconnected from your feminine radiance, all you have to do is relax. You don't need to be problem solving all the time. Now, if you're a single mom, you're working full time, I absolutely have compassion for you. This is not to say that you should drop all of your responsibilities and stop solving problems and go take a bubble bath. I'm absolutely not saying that. But what I am saying is that there is a way to access your softer, sweet, radiant, expressive, present self. You don't have to always be planning and strategizing and problem solving. There is a time for that, and then there is also a time to be present with your children or your coworkers or whoever it is. It doesn't always need to be this focus on like getting it done and the outcomes. You're going to hear me talking a lot about being outcome oriented versus process oriented, experience oriented, allowing yourself time. We don't need to always be on this trajectory of like get it done right now. A lot of the things that we think need to be done today actually don't. I'm not telling you to procrastinate, believe me, that's not what I'm saying, but take some of the pressure off. Enjoy the process. When I do my housework, I don't try to do it as fast as I can. I bring gratitude and joy to what I'm doing, because I actually have dishes to wash. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so grateful. And it allows me to slow down, and you make fewer mistakes when you're doing things a little bit more slowly, and you'll get it done. So taking that stress and that pressure off also applies to solving all of life's problems. Not everything has to be solved right this second. When we allow ourselves to trust God, trust timing, trust that everything's going to be okay. Even if it's not, even if something terrible happens, not too terrible. I'm not talking about like life or death stuff, but things don't always go our way, and that's okay. We're going to survive. So taking the pressure off of ourselves is a way to connect to your feminine instincts for sure, because you're slowing down, you're enjoying, you're being more present. Especially if you're in a relationship, a man really wants to feel like you are present with him. You're not in your mind trying to figure things out, thinking. You're actually with him, and you're a little curious, you're playful, you're present with him. It's a subtle difference, and if you practice this, you'll understand what I'm saying. Okay, number 2 is a lack of self-nourishment. Now, I don't talk about self-love and self-care. Those are kind of secular, worldly, goddessy kind of woo ideas, and this is a woo-free channel. You'll find that out pretty fast. No woo here, but I do strongly, firmly encourage all women to find time somehow, even if it means scrolling less or shopping less or just doing things that really, figuring out where your time sucks are and taking that time and doing something that is actually really nourishing for yourself, that allows you to feel just like present, like I was saying before, to enjoy your moment more. Be in the moment, and it doesn't have to be a bubble bath. It could just be a simple walk. It could be getting your nails done. If you don't like getting your nails done, find something that you love to have done to you, like a facial, a massage, where you just lay there and it's very nourishing. Okay, that's one form. It's kind of like the typical form of self-nourishment that everybody kind of understands. But there are other forms of self-nourishment too, and you might have your own personal preference, and it could be something as simple as starting your day reading the Bible. That's what I do. It is the most nourishing thing I can possibly think of, prayer and reading my Bible. Also being with animals, being in nature, gardening, where there's life, something connected with life, something away from technology and more focused on watching things grow. That to me is so nourishing. And yes, you're nourishing a plant. Maybe you don't think of it as nourishing yourself, but it does nourish you to see something beautiful take shape. Or knitting for me is self-nourishment, because I'm not focusing on anything else. Maybe I'm watching, sometimes I might be watching YouTube or something like that, or listening to a podcast. Okay, but knitting in silence, ooh, that would be so nourishing. I was watching this kind of off the topic, but I found this video of this woman who lives all alone on an island, and she's never lonely, and she loves it. Now, I personally couldn't do that, but the reason I'm bringing it up was that this woman was so nourished. There's nothing about her that was frazzled or stressed out, or yes, and that's not the life for everyone, and that's not what I'm saying, but can you find something to do or experience where you have that level of nourishment, where you're just like, oh, even if it's 1 hour, 1 day a week. I know a lot of you are moms, single moms, or maybe just really busy with work or responsibilities that you have. But I promise you, if you can shift this sign, the lack of self-nourishment, you will have more to give. It's going to fuel you so that you can do all your other things more easily, because you're going to be in a more peaceful frame of mind, and you're going to be more present. And that's really the key, present to what you're experiencing. And the last one, you're going to love number 5, but I don't want to spoil it yet. Okay, number 3 is that you have difficulty receiving or accepting help. I have so many clients who, on the very first call, it's abundantly clear that receiving anything is very difficult for them. And this is a huge sign. that you are disconnected from your feminine instincts, because the feminine instinct is to receive, not in a selfish way. And there's a big difference between taking and receiving. So receiving from her man, from life, from friends, not just gifts. I'm talking about receiving love, receiving care. If you don't believe that you are valuable enough to someone to receive their love and care, I really challenge you to reflect on that. Do some journaling and find out what is the core reason for that. When someone tells you, you're so important to me, oh my gosh, without you, I don't know what I would do. You just helped me so much. Thank you, you're amazing. Do you struggle to receive that? Do you say, oh, no, you're the one. You're more amazing than I am. I couldn't live without you. No. Well, when you do that, you're not allowing that person to give to you. And people love to give. So let that person give you that. Give the glory to God if you like, because I know a lot of Christians, and it's totally understandable, I'm not saying this is wrong, a lot of Christians have trouble receiving because they don't want to fall into pride. I get that, and please don't. If you struggle on the other side and you do fall into pride, then that's a spiritual matter, and you can discuss that with your pastor. My videos are not going to really go that much into spiritual things, but what I've found is that fear of seeming prideful, because a lot of the time it's a fear of seeming prideful. A lot of the time you're not actually in danger of falling into sin of pride. You're actually just afraid to seem like you are. And so that's definitely something that you want to keep your awareness on, because that's not helping you. And you're putting pressure on yourself. And you're also trying to control the other person's perception of you as someone who's not prideful. So practice receiving, whether it's a gift, a compliment, I don't care what it is. Let that person give to you, especially if it's a man. A man needs to feel fully received. And when you do, he's going to feel like such a man, and he's going to see you as such a woman. And that's kind of the point of my entire channel. So let's move on to number 4. Excessive control and perfectionism. This one is probably the number one struggle that women face. My audience on Instagram telling me all the ways that they struggle with control and perfectionism. And there's no way I can go into all of this right now in this video. I'm trying to keep these videos to about 20 minutes, but I could do a whole video on perfectionism and control. And if that's something that you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments, because I'm more than happy to do that, because I could probably talk for hours on this one topic. And when you download my notes for today's video, there are actually 12 different ways that you can shift this pattern. And there, believe me, there are more than 12, but these are my top 12 of what I have found works with my clients. So you will get access to all 12. So I don't think I'll go through them. I think I'll let you message me. I'll tell you where at the end of the video, so that you can get all these notes. But one thing I will say about excessive control and perfectionism is that when you let go of control and perfectionism, you are going to feel radiant and amazing, I promise. And it's not easy, because we've developed over life, years and years of these patterns, thinking we need to be perfect, trying to control outcomes, thinking that if things don't go our way, it's going to be the end of the world and we're going to die. We don't think that consciously, but that is the motivation for why we control things. It's because we're afraid. So fear is the number one culprit for this particular issue. So again, I could literally talk for hours on this one thing, but I want to get to number 5 because this is one of my favorite ones, and this is the least discussed anywhere. I don't see a lot of people talking about this one, but it's so important. Disconnection from your feelings, disconnection from what you feel in your body. It's a somatic awareness. If you've heard this term, it's a general term, but it is so important. And again, this is going to get you out of your head, out of overthinking, out of perfectionism, out of control, out of thinking about the future and thinking things need to be a certain way, or, oh, it's the end of the world. Feel what you're feeling in your body. Where is that resistance when you have those kinds of anxious thoughts? Where are you feeling that? Let yourself feel it. Don't judge it. Don't avoid it. Don't tell yourself, oh my gosh, I'm crazy, I'm stupid, why am I doing this again? I hate when I go there, like now my whole day's ruined, and then you kind of just devolve into compounded self-judgment. Do not do that. Do the opposite of that. Allow it. Allow it. Let yourself feel that. Give yourself some space and time to really feel how anxious you are. You're not going to die. It's very scary, but I promise you will not die when you accept that you have this resistance. Try it. Try it 5 times today, because there will be 5 opportunities, I promise, to practice all of this. The more aware you are of opportunities to make these shifts, the more your life is going to change. And that's the whole thing with mentorship, and I'll do an entire video on how mentorship works, but this is how it works. You start to notice your patterns, and then you shift them to something that actually allows you to receive, to let go of control, to enjoy life, to be more present, more joyful, more grateful. And then that radiance just, you just release it into the world, and it's magnetic and it's amazing. And that's what I want for every woman. So disconnection from your body and your feelings. You're ignoring the physical sensations and cues, the emotional cues and the physical cues. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are not to be trusted. If you're a Christian, you know that feelings are not to be trusted. But they're indicators indicating something is up, so you don't avoid them. If you believe that feelings are not facts and that there's no truth in feelings, so then you go to the whole other extreme of avoiding what you're feeling, I promise it's going to affect your marriage or any relationship in a very serious way. So, like everything, there's nuance. Hold every thought captive, please. Talk to your pastor, talk to a spiritual person in your life that you trust. If you are noticing a repetitive habit of feeling a certain feeling like anger, that's a big one. Sadness. If you're constantly sad, talk to someone, please. I'm not saying that we should be walking around feeling our anger and feeling our sadness 24/7. I'm saying find a way to release it. Find a way to understand what are the feelings indicating. What are they pointing to? They're keys to something much bigger. And that's why I do agree with facts are not feelings. I totally get that, and I totally understand that. So identify what they are pointing to. Say, thank you, sadness. And then find out what it's pointing to. And that is going to lead us into a future video about feminine communication and how to actually communicate about your feelings, especially if you're married, especially if you're in a romantic relationship, because don't want to get into too much of a off the topic right now, but I'll just say this. If you have a feeling that is repetitive, coming up a lot, regularly, and let's say you don't share it at all. You think, oh, my feelings are a burden. Oh, I don't want to bother him. oh, he doesn't like it when I share my feelings. I mean, I hear all of this all the time from my clients. You could do that, or you could do the exact opposite and just be like, bah, 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 like no containment whatsoever, just sharing, sharing, sharing. I'm not saying that. So keeping your feelings silent, I'm not saying that. Going overboard and erupting with anger and sadness 24/7, obviously I'm not saying that. So there's somewhere in the middle, right? There's somewhere that's like a healthy place to be with feeling your feelings, sharing your feelings so that you can work through them. And if you have a man who knows masculine communication, then your man leads you into your feelings so that you can do that. Not all of us have that, and this is part of my mission in life, is to help couples use both. Help the man use masculine communication, help the woman use feminine communication. I work with both. Sometimes I only work with the wife. Sometimes I work with both. But it's so critical. So if you have any questions about this, please leave a comment. I create content based on whatever my audience wants to know. So you can definitely help me by leaving a comment and thinking of someone that would be helped by this video. Can you think of anyone in your life who has talked about how she feels so disconnected from her feminine instincts, or that I hear this a lot too. I used to be so feminine. I hear it right from so many women who I do calls with. I used to be so feminine. I'm not anymore. Well, this is your first step. So if you have a friend that could enjoy this video, I hope you'll send it to her. And in the notes that you're going to receive from today's video, there are, let's see, like 23 different cues so that you can understand what I mean by paying attention to the sensations. There's physical sensations, emotional cues, and then I'm going to give you practices, ways, very simple. I'm not going into detail. This isn't a course. I'm not sending you a course. I'm just sending you notes from today. I'm going to give you very simple ideas that you can then Google or ask me to make a video on, or look, and probably there are already videos. So I'm not saying I'm reinventing or inventing anything here. I'm just giving you the same suggestions that I give my clients. So by tuning into, I'll read you this part. By tuning into these physical sensations and emotional cues, we can recognize areas of tension or disconnection, release control and surrender instead, cultivate a deeper awareness of what's going on, because the more you practice this, the more attuned you're going to be. When something does come up, it's not going to take days or weeks to process. You're going to be like, oh yeah, oh, that's that uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. I remember that. And yeah, I thought I released that. It's shame from when I was 5. And the kids at school laughed at me when I drew a cow, and then I decided I was never gonna draw again. And then you go to like a painting party or something and you hate the mountainside of flowers because you're just back to that state of that 5-year-old who was told that she wasn't artistic, and there's that shame there. Well, if you notice where you're feeling it in your body, it's no longer just a memory. It's no longer just something that happened that you remembered from your childhood. You can actually give some care and some love to that tension in your stomach and realize that those kids who told you that, they didn't even know what they were talking about. They have no impact on your life today. They have no impact on whether or not you can enjoy painting or doing artwork, just for the sake of being present with the paintbrush and creating something beautiful. And so that's what I mean about this process of becoming connected to your feminine instincts and becoming aware of the sensations in your body that come up when something's stressful, something's scary, and shifting it. Reframe those past patterns that have controlled who you are today and that you've let determine how you express your radiance. We're going to let all of those go. It's going to be so fun. So that's the end of the video. If you want to see more videos just like this, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see. And to get my notes from today, again, you're going to get everything we talked about plus 12 different ways to combat perfectionism. I actually have an ebook on this. Little plug for my ebook in my link in my bio on Instagram. If you go to A Feminine Heart, there's a link to my website, which also you can type in your URL. It's just afeminineheartmentorship.com. And I have an ebook all about perfectionism, and some of my clients and readers have said it was their favorite one. I have 7 ebooks. I think this one is, I don't remember. I think it's number 6. Pretty sure, yeah. So it's only $7, and if you have any questions for me about mentorship or anything else that I do, I hope that you'll reach out to me on Instagram, and I'm hoping to create at least 1 video per week, and some of them are going to be more focused on online business and entrepreneurship. If you're a woman who is ready to start something in her spare time, just like a few hours a week, or maybe you already have an online business and you want to attract more clients, I also help people with their businesses. So you can reach out to me about femininity, relationships, or entrepreneurship. And I have a very specific way of working with my clients as it relates to communication. So that's kind of my area of expertise. And I love you so much, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, bye.